Normally, the more good looking the girl is, the more dead they are in bed. Must be a politician, son. What if that guy has a 1-inch penis? I could take the number of a wife in front of her husband while he's looking at me also. And he will not mind even 1% simply because he will. When you know that so much of shit is going on in everyone's minds and they are overcomplicating shit, the best way to go through life, whether you want to fuck a girl, whether you want to become a saint, whether you want to become a prostitute, is to live like a child, in my opinion. Because a child always normally has awe on their face. Alright? Every experience is new for them. Their conditioning is not complete.
Right.
So when every experience is new for you, you are always in a state of being amazed and grateful. Alright?
Right.
When you are amazed and grateful, these two emotions are not being experienced by society today. Today, let's say I have a regular car like a Maruti Alto. Whether I take a woman into that car for a drive or whether I take a friend, they are not going to be amazed. They are not going to be amazed. Alright? If one day I suddenly get a Mercedes and the same woman sits or the same guy sits, and if they've never, they don't come from money like that or whatever, they'll be amazed. They'll be like, oh my god, did you buy this car? First thing they'll try to do is find information about you. Did you level up? Because they think that's leveling up. The world thinks in terms of hierarchy.
I think majority of them, but not all of them, will be amazed with that car, even if they don't have that car. But most of the people,
Bro, like 1 in maybe 10,000 people might not be amazed. Alright?
can be.
Because for them, it is something which is shiny and it is something out of their reach. So that is how most people are living.
Yeah.
Okay. But I say, whether you're in an Alto or you're in a Mercedes, how about being amazed of all the things which are beyond that exterior shape and logo? Whether an Alto or a Mercedes, it is magic. Why is it magic? You're sitting in a seat 2 feet above the floor and you're flying through the city if you think about it.
Right.
You're experiencing the magic of locomotion.
Yeah.
You're experiencing the magic of man's ingenuity, that man was able to connect liquid such as petrol or diesel, fire, safety ke saath, fire which does not explode the fuck out of your balls. You have controlled the element of fire to a level that you are using combustion to propel you forward. Alright. So element, fire, etc. is linked to mechanical parts, which is metal, rubber, steel, all these different parts, which is also linked to electronics, the way your car has an ECU, right? Electronic control unit, which has some basic calculations to do regarding the car and everything. Alright, the one which tells you when the fuel is low and all that shit, like gauges, this, that, different kinds of things. If this is not something to be amazed at every single day, what the fuck, man? Alright, but girls want the Mercedes guy more than the Alto guy because the exterior matters a lot to people. Now, what will happen is that they'll go for the Mercedes guy. The Mercedes guy knows that he's getting girls because of having a Mercedes, even if he's shit with women.
Yeah.
Alright, the girl will go ahead to do things with him in order to guarantee a future with him, but he's a dickhead, so either she herself will find him to be useless, or he will be a fuckboy and he will move from one girl to another girl, and then the girl will come back to reality with a hurt ego. Now, I'm not saying any of this to demean girls or guys. I'm not saying any of this is with judgment. This is pure observation of human behavior in the jungle of society.
Then they'll do this with the same, another guy who's...
Yeah. But either way, it doesn't matter, right? Because what matters is what is beyond what the eyes can see. Alright. Now, just because your eyes cannot see a combustion engine's insides and how this magic is happening, you are only seeing the body. Just like how men see girls. Just like how men see women. There might be a body who's a 9 or a 10, and all of us guys want that at least once in my life I should be able to have sex with a 9 or a 10 girl. Alright.
Right.
Whereas that doesn't even guarantee that the sex would be good. Normally, the more good looking the girl is, the more dead they are in bed. Because girls who don't look the best, they know that they should put in effort, and they put in effort in a way where, interaction with them is way more beautiful than with the 9s or the 10s, who are super inflated in terms of ego. So basically, a girl who's a 6 or a 7 is not overweight, is not someone who's not looking after herself. She's decently good looking, alright, has a decent figure. Is not a fucking fake ass body, but is a girl, man. So I find every girl to be beautiful, alright, because I find nature in them. I find prakriti, and that they have the magic to give birth to life, alright. So
Most beautiful thing.
yeah, so for me, all of them are beautiful.
They are.
Alright. But again, men don't look at that. Men look at the ones which are the most sexy, because on their Instagram, which girl, they want to roam around with as their girlfriend or whatever. So today, even relationships are based on what is going to look good on the screen. Even if those relations are horrendous for each other, you could have such a more fulfilling life, or a whatever short period of time, with someone who's not, I don't know, some influencer material chick. Alright? Because anyways, being with the influencer material chick is going to be such a horrendous experience in most of the cases that is going to be sad. But again, guys are also after what is shining more, and women are also after what is shining more, because that is where the consciousness of people is trapped today.
Right.
Alright. So if we look at things like children, a child does not know the difference between a Mercedes and an Alto. He does not know what money is. He does not know that, okay, this is harder to acquire than the other one. He doesn't know any of this. Alright. He just loves to take a ride in the car, just like a dog.
Yeah.
A dog is not going to care. He just wants that feeling of the wind hitting his fucking head, man.
Yeah.
Now, these are the creatures who see beyond the physical. They see where the magic lies. So they will always be happy with life. They will always be brimming with the good kind of energy. Because everybody else fucks up their own energy when they drive an Alto and on the red light next to them a Mercedes rolls up and stops, and the guy is 27 years old. He's an IT guy and he's looking at that and he's like, must be a politician's son, or whatever, passing judgment. Because technically you're judging yourself at that moment.
Right.
What if that guy sitting in that luxury car either has a 1-inch penis? Do you know that? You don't. But you think he's got everything in the world. What if he lost both his parents when he was young? Maybe they just have money, but maybe he lost his parents. I'm not saying make this a mantra and blindly follow it. Experiment with yourself. No matter what is there in the world, there are enough reasons to be amazed at life. Alright?
Yeah.
No matter you might be the poorest person, you might be the most biggest failure with women, still there are so many other things that are happening for you, whether with your knowledge or without your knowledge, that they are just amazing. Who is doing them? Who is making sure that the sun rises every day in the morning? If the sun isn't there for a few days, forget girls, you'll be depressed.
Right. Yeah.
Alright, but just because this is not happening on a day-to-day basis, just like, your interaction with girls are happening on a more regular basis than the sunlight. In terms of how much attention you're paying it. Technically, sunlight is coming every day, but you don't give it attention because you take it for granted. But a child is amazed at these things. Alright? So, now, number one, when you're like that solves your problems when it comes to attracting girls randomly. If I'm like a child, alright, I do not give across any threatening vibe. I could take the number of a wife in front of her husband while he's looking at me also. And he will not mind even 1% simply because he will not consider me harmful.
Right.
Because it's just, if I'm a child, then anything will happen and I will connect with that person on any point. Any point. I don't need to be interested in trekking and they are also a trekker and then we connect. No. I'm interested in Camlin crayons and they are interested in trekking. And I'll be like, I want to go trekking with you next time so that I can come home and paint the trekking scene which I saw with my Camlin crayons. Anything can be connected to anything if you look at the world as a child. The more you look at the world based on the identity you build about yourself, the more you limit the possibilities of human connections with other humans.